What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video, and this time we're going to be taking a look at the JJrc, I forget the name, it's like C8818, I believe. Here's the box, which came crushed, but thankfully nothing's broken. Stable RTR, high-speed vehicle, not really. Fully assembled, game time, RTR ready to run. This is going to be what I call the meme truck. Like, I want to build this up as a performer and take it to competitions with this body and just make everyone angry at me. What makes this truck kind of unique is the Cybertruck body, obviously, but the weird part of it to me is the 2-speed transmission. Now, everything else is very much like the All-Star Hobby that I had, which I'll go ahead and pull that up right here. This is an All-Star Hobby. This was that orange Jeep, or you can also get it in silver. Mine was silver. But underneath, it is the All-Star Hobby. Even has the still original ESC and receiver combo, battery, motor, 370 motor, and transmission. So I've done a video on this truck already, but I was comparing them, and I actually think that the Cybertruck over here, since it has a 2-speed... Oh, and latch down the front end. There we go. Okay, we're good. Like I was saying, the Cybertruck one over here has a clipless body, which is really nice. This one is unique because it has a 2-speed transmission, which is pretty cool. I don't know why they put the power switch right there. That's really stupid. I think they made it worse, to be honest. The transmission... It is cool that it's an actual geared transmission, like an actual manual 2-speed. It's not electronically controlled like the WL Toys 24 scale crawler. This is actually a mechanical 2-speed, which is cool, but I think they ruined it. The low-speed control on this thing is just not as good. I can't believe I'm saying that. The All-Star Hobby has way better low-down control than this does. This one, actually, you could hear the ESC whine, which is unique because the All-Star makes zero noise. It's whisper quiet. This one has an ESC whine, which is annoying. And yeah, whatever gears they put in this for this 2-speed, it's geared way too high. The slow-speed modulation on this is not nearly as good as the other one. So we'll go ahead and turn it on. These are the stock wheels, by the way. They are not staying. These are going to be obstacles and props. I put these on there. These have Endura silicone inserts. They're very heavy. They weigh this truck down quite a lot. But that's good. You want that. Very good clipless body. I like that. I like the inner fenders. I did not plug in the battery. Hang on. We do have ourselves a new transmitter, which is really unique. Let's go ahead and... Where's the power button? Where's that at? Ah. There we go. Turn it on. And listen, you'll see what I mean. Here's the... I'm going to just barely touch the throttle here. That's in low gear. You hear that? Now let me get out the All-Star and just do a little bit of a comparison. Here's the All-Star Hobby with the same motor but different transmission. No noise at all. And look at that low-down modulation. I forgot it's forward brake and reverse. I was trying to figure out why it wasn't moving. You see how much better that is? I think they made it worse. I think the 2-speed made it worse. I hope they don't put it in future trucks. How crazy is it that Tom Lee RC just uploaded a video just as this thing arrived this morning, and he has one of these now. He actually tested it out, and he's like, oh, it's not a bad crawler. I'm like, dude, like, build it up. That's what I want to do. I want to actually make this thing perform, you know? So I think the first order of business is definitely going to be get rid of that 2-speed, because the low down modulation, unfortunately, is not there. That's why I'm so disappointed. I know this is going to be like a meme truck. Like, I want to take it to a competition and have it be a really good performer and just piss everyone off because they lost to this thing. But yeah, I guess I'm going to have my work cut out for me, because this thing's going to be a lot more difficult than I thought. I have to get rid of the 2-speed transmission. I'm probably just going to get the Enduro. I want to get the clear transmission. That actually looks pretty cool. I know it's just a regular 4M transmission, just clear. There's nothing really special about it, but I just think it's really cool. Probably going to have to do a complete ESC and receiver overhaul and everything. And I don't want to replace any of these parts unless I have to. That was kind of my mistake on the last one. And I think we're going to get different axles and servos and shocks. Maybe I'll keep the friction dampers in there. Because, believe it or not, I don't mind friction dampers. Every single oil-filled shock that I've had, whether it be on 24s, 18s, 10 scales, they always stick. And it's very annoying. Let's go ahead and try to back. Whoa, whoa. You see what I mean? That's in low gear. This is low gear. High gear. Yeah. Not really the best low down modulation. Yeah, it's geared very, very high. You kind of gotta bump the throttle. Well, it feels just like a stock 4M, I guess, with that in that aspect. Let's go through the light functions. I hope this doesn't... look away if you have any kind of seizure warning, whatever it's called. We're going to go through the light functions really quick. I don't want to... epilepsy. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name. Just look away if you have epilepsy. Looks like reminds me of the kit scanner. How's the rear look? Oh, the rear really reminds me of the kit scanner. Whoa! Oh, dude, it's a rave party. It would actually be cool if that was actually the headlights on the Cybertruck, but no, those are the running lights. Cool. Oh, it's like a police thing. Oh, and then there's just no lights. Cool. Alright, that's nifty. I don't know what's going to happen once I overhaul the electronics. I'm hoping it just stays this color, but I guess we'll find out. I was one of the few people that wasn't hating on this design when it came out, when it was first shown. When I first saw the Tesla Cybertruck, I was just like, okay, I see what they're going for. It's supposed to be like a 1980s, like, cyberpunk kind of like Blade Runner looking thing. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty interesting. And what I was thinking it was going to be, from all the promotional videos and everything, and you know, you had the video of Elon shooting at it, showing that it's bullet resistant and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be like this cool, rugged, utilitarian, fun off-road truck. Maybe not something that you could haul stuff with. Maybe something more akin to a Raptor, you know, kind of like one of those fun off-roaders. You don't really haul stuff with a Ford Raptor. You kind of just use it for a fun off-roader. Maybe something like the Hummer EV, something like that, you know, something cool, Rivian R1T. But no, this thing turned out to be just a Tesla car with a truck skin on it. And it's one of the biggest disappointments I've had in a while. And I was one of the few that didn't hate on this thing. I thought it was kind of cool. Boy, was I wrong. Now I make jokes. I'm like the Virgin Cybertruck versus the Chad Hummer EV, because the Hummer EV just destroys this thing in every aspect. I mean, I think that that's pretty accurate in terms of scale. the Hummer EV just absolutely dwarfs most trucks. Yeah. But what I mean when I talk about the Hummer EV versus the Cybertruck, if you've ever looked at the Cybertruck's interior, all it is a flat panel with a screen and a steering wheel. So if you want to see your speed, you have to look at a glance and somehow not crash into someone. The Hummer EV, on the other hand, is actually built with someone who needs to drive a car in mind. It has a screen in front and a screen on the side in the middle of the dashboard, so you could see your speed and everything from the front. And also, not to mention, the Hummer EV is also built with a person in mind, not what looks cool or what seems cool. The Hummer EV has these big toggle switches that you can press so you can access everything on the infotainment menu. If you're wearing gloves, if it's freezing cold out, maybe your hands are dirty, you don't want to touch the screen, you can do that without even touching the screen. It has these big chunky buttons and everything, almost cartoony looking on the interior. It's designed with an actual person driving a car in mind. Absolutely blows this thing out of the water because you can't do anything without having to touch a screen in this thing. Yeah, so the Hummer EV just blows this thing out of the water. So if you're deciding what real car to buy, don't buy this, buy that. That was just my mini rant on which EV truck to buy. Buy the Hummer EV, it's better. And also maybe buy the Hummer EV anyway as an RC because this thing is an absolute beast and I had such a fun time with it. But yeah, that's a story for another day. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to start actually building this thing up and seeing what we can do with it because I think it's going to be pretty fun. I think it's going to be ridiculous, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. So we're going to have some fun.